print ready or preview only. How artists should set up digital downloads to protect their work. The file setup choices that keep your art looking great for buyers while keeping your original files safe from theft. An illustrator we'll call Mara spent a weekend prepping her first pack of digital prints. 12 pieces, gorgeous on screen, priced at $12 each. She uploaded the same high-resolution files she used for her own wall art, hit publish, and watched the first few sales roll in. 2 weeks later, she found her exact artwork, full resolution, being resold on marketplace sites by accounts she'd never heard of. Nothing about her checkout was broken. Her mistake was upstream of the sale entirely. She never decided what a buyer should receive versus what she should keep locked away. That one decision, made before you list a product, is the difference between a download that delights a customer and one that hands your original file to anyone willing to strip your name off it. Why just upload the good file is the wrong instinct. Most new sellers think about digital downloads the way they think about physical inventory. One file equals one product. Done. But a digital file is infinitely copyable the second it leaves your hands, and a buyer's phone is not a locked room. The moment you deliver a full resolution, unmarked master file, you've handed over every version of your art you'll ever have. The one you'd frame, the one you'd license, and the one someone could quietly re-upload elsewhere. That doesn't mean mistrusting every customer. It means the file itself needs to do some of the protecting, because you can't personally watch what happens after delivery. This is exactly the setup work worth doing once, carefully, before you ever open your store, fan to the public. Preview file versus deliverable file. Know the difference. Your product listing needs an image that sells the piece, the preview. Your buyer's download needs a file they can actually use, the deliverable. Conflating these is where most artists get burned. The preview exists purely to be looked at on a product page. Compressed, watermarked, modest in resolution, because its only job is convincing someone to click buy. The deliverable is what that purchase unlocks, and it should be exactly as good as promised. No watermark, correct resolution, the right format for how it'll be used. Never export the deliverable from the preview. Downsizing a watermarked preview and calling it the small version still leaves a visible watermark trail baked into an image customers paid for. Always keep two separate exports from your original source file, a clean deliverable and a marked preview, so neither one is a derivative of the other. Resolution. Match the file to how it'll actually be used. Print and screen have different needs, and guessing wrong either direction disappoints a buyer or overexposes your original. If your art is meant to be printed, wall art, planner pages, coloring sheets, greeting card templates, export at 300 dpi at the actual physical dimensions advertised. An 8x10 print at 300 dpi is 2400 x 3000 pixels, not a scaled-up phone photo. If it's meant for screens only, phone wallpapers, digital stickers, social templates, a clean 72 to 150 dpi export at actual viewing resolution is plenty, and keeps the file lighter to deliver. Selling both a print and a screen version of the same piece as separate listings is a legitimate way to serve two buyer intents without overpromising on either. Common file formats, and when to use them. Bits. Best for digital art with transparency or crisp edges, stickers, overlays, clip art. JPEG. Smaller file size, ideal for photography-style pieces and print-ready wall art. VPDF. The standard for print-at-home pieces, multi-page packs, or anything a buyer will print themselves. TIFB. For professional print buyers who need lossless, uncompressed quality, larger files, niche use, VB. Bundle multiple sizes, formats, or a whole collection into one clean download instead of forcing buyers through several links. Watermarking previews without ruining the sale. A watermark's only job is to make a screenshot of your preview useless as a substitute for the real thing. not to punish a browsing customer with an ugly image. Diagonal, semi-transparent text, or a repeated logo pattern works well because it's hard to crop around but doesn't obscure the composition entirely. What doesn't work? A single small logo in one corner, trivially cropped out. Or a watermark so heavy the buyer can't tell what they're purchasing. The goal is clearly not the final product at a glance, while still honestly representing what they'll get once they pay. Export a clean, unwatermarked deliverable file directly from your original source file. Export a separate, watermarked preview sized for web viewing, not for printing. Confirm your deliverables resolution matches the use case in your product description. Print versus screen. Pick a file format your buyer can actually open without extra software. Zip multi-file packs into one download instead of listing 5 separate links. Buy your own product once it's live and confirm the secure download link delivers the correct file. Let the delivery system do the protecting your file can't. Good file prep only gets you halfway. The delivery mechanism matters just as much. A file emailed as a plain attachment or hosted on an open, guessable link can be forwarded endlessly with zero friction. When you sell through store.fan, every purchase generates a secure download link handed to the buyer instantly on screen and by email. Not a static public URL sitting in a shared folder anyone could stumble onto. That single design choice protects casual leakage of your work far better than any watermark trick, because it ties the download to a completed purchase rather than a link that lives forever in the open. The watermark protects your preview. The secure link protects the moment of delivery. Neither one alone is enough. You need both working together. Pricing the difference between preview only and print ready. Once your files are properly separated, you have a real merchandising decision available. Sell tiers. A screen resolution wallpaper might be an impulse buy at a few dollars, while the same artwork delivered print-ready at 300 dpi, sized for framing, can reasonably command several times that, because you're delivering genuinely more usable value. This builds a product ladder from a single piece, without new creative work for every price point. You're productizing resolution and use case, not repainting anything. It's also a great way to test what your audience actually wants before committing more time to any one format. Still deciding how to structure your first few listings? A live example store is worth studying for how tiers and file types get presented on one product page. And if a setup question comes up that this guide didn't cover, the FAQ and contact support are both faster than guessing. The setup is a business decision, not a formatting chore. It's tempting to treat file prep as busy work on the way to the real part of selling, marketing, pricing, posting. But the file setup is part of the business. It determines whether a buyer feels they got exactly what they paid for, whether your work stays traceable to you, and whether a curious browser can screenshot their way to a free copy of something you spent hours making. None of this needs expensive software. It needs deciding once what preview and deliverable mean, and building that into every listing. Once the habit is in place, publishing a new piece takes minutes, not a weekend of anxiety. One-line version. Never let your preview and your deliverable be the same file. Watermark the one that sells. Protect the one that gets paid for. And let a secure download link handle the handoff. Get the file set up right once, and every future listing becomes a 5-minute task instead of a source of quiet anxiety about where your art ends up. It's one of the smallest pieces of running a creator business and one of the highest leverage. Right up there with picking a price and writing a good description. For more setup guides like this one before your next launch, the blog covers the rest of the first product basics worth getting right from day one. Key takeaways. Treat preview and deliverable as 2 separate files. Never the same export at 2 sizes. Watermark the preview visibly enough to block screenshot theft. Not so heavily it hides the art match resolution and format to how the buyer will actually use the file. Print, screen, or both. A secure, expiring download link protects the moment of delivery just as much as the file itself. Your file setup is a business decision, not a technical afterthought. It shapes trust and repeat sales. Start your creator store free at store.fan.